You should know better than to talk back to me like that, you hear? Scream for me! Your screams give me so much joy!
What the fuck?
Beast Tamer. More like Mr. Beast Gamer, am I right?
Mr. Beast!
What the hell am I even supposed to say about this show? It's yet another awful and boring fantasy harem anime. There's nothing good in this show, and there's pretty much nothing interesting to talk about in it either. But I don't just want to say it sucks and end the video in less than a minute, so I'll quickly go over why Mr. Beast Gamer sucks. So, Mr. Beast is a beast tamer who's in a hero party, but
We're letting you go.
Bruh.
he gets fired because he cured 1,000 blind people. He gets crippling depression, goes to the forest to meet Logan Paul, but then meets a cat girl and gets
Pussy!
Her name is Kanade is the pussycat's name, and she's a super duper species or something and is really powerful. Mr. Beast tames her, even though he shouldn't be able to, and then they fuck.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
I wish, but nope. Instead, they go and do everything else you've seen in a fantasy anime before. They go to a guild, do some quests, and all that other generic dumb shit. The show goes as follows. Mr. Beast finds super duper powerful species like Kanade, tames them, and then adds them to his harem. However, like most garbage fantasies, he doesn't actually do anything with them since he's a big fucking
Pussy! What's that? Are those new faces? Goodness, they look like children.
I know like 3 of them are kids, but you can at least stick your wiener in Kanade or Tanya. Anyway, yeah, besides taming beast girls, Mr. Beast goes around doing stupid quests and helping people. He does this because that's just the type of person he is. He's a nice fucking person because he's the main character, and we can't have our main character be interesting because I don't fucking know.
Even if I know I'll lose, I have to give it everything I've got.
Ready? Go!
My main problem is that the show is just boring. The first half was bad, but around episode 8 or 9, I just stopped caring and wanted the show to end already. There's 2 main reasons why the show is really uninteresting. The first is that Mr. Beast is extremely overpowered for no reason. Beast tamers are able to tame and control 1 or sometimes 2 beasts at a time. But Mr. Beast is able to do this, but with like 20 or 30 beasts.
Hey, looks like someone else brought backup.
He can also tame super duper pooper species because he just can. And not only that, but every time he does tame a super beast, he gains their powers, so he gets even more busted. So basically, there's no stakes in the show, which is why there's never a tense or exciting scene. Mr. Beast is so powerful that he can't lose and he can do anything he wants. For example, there's this one part where he's fighting against someone who tamed a really powerful beast. Mr. Beast fights him for a bit, but then decides to tame him himself, which shouldn't be possible, but he can do it because of course he can. In the last episode, he also tames a fucking spirit, which shouldn't be possible either, but he can do it because he's Mr. Beast. Now, I'm not saying shows with OP main characters can't work, because clearly they can. One Punch Man and Dr. Stone are great, and they each work for different reasons. Saitama in One Punch Man is busted, but the series uses that as a means of comedy and sometimes even storytelling. The show also focuses away from Saitama later on in order to tell a story with other characters that aren't overpowered like him. In Dr. Stone, Senku is a genius and can pretty much solve any problem and can create almost anything he wants. However, he's limited to creating things with only the resources that are available to him. Also, seeing him create his inventions and solving problems takes a notable amount of time and are also very fun to watch. Now, Mr. Beast Tamer doesn't have any of this. Mr. Beast just throws random spells out of his ass and they work because someone touched his spaghetti or something. The show takes itself so seriously, but the writing sucks, so I can't get invested in the story at all. Like I said, I just gave up around halfway through because I stopped caring. I just got a new setup, so when I got bored, I just did a bunch of random shit on my other monitor while I had the show playing on my main one. Anyway, the show can't be taken it seriously. So is it like One Punch Man where it's at least funny because the main character is so OP?
No.
Of course not, because this show was a steaming pile of poo-poo caca. In episode 5, Mr. Beast, Kanade, and Tanya meet up with the asshole hero party who fired Mr. Beast. They're strong, but it's obvious that Mr. Beast and his furry friends can demolish them. Because of this, the episode tries to be funny by showing how fucked the heroes are, but it fails. There's multiple reasons for this, but the main reason is due to the episode's pacing. This concept is good on paper, but in execution, it doesn't work. This should have lasted like half an episode, but instead it takes up an entire episode. It's really slow and drags on for way too long. Seeing a bunch of assholes get humiliated should be fairly entertaining, but like I said, it just drags on and overstays its welcome. I don't care for Mr. Beast fucking them up because I don't care for Mr. Beast as a character. Also, just like the rest of the show, the art and animation here is really shitty. Even in the first episode, even in the very beginning, the art is terrible. Normally, you'd make your first episode look at least decent or even notably stronger than the rest of the show, but I guess they didn't have enough time to finish these episodes, or the director and animator sucked, or maybe it's a mix of both. Either way, the show looks like shit and the character designs are as bland as ever.
Die in a fucking fire. Please.
The anime was dubbed by Crunchyroll and it's not very good. I believe in a dub supremacy and all, but this dub clearly isn't good and none of the actors seem to care. But then again, I honestly don't blame them since the show is god-awful. I don't remember any of the music since it's just generic garbage. The ending theme is fine and the best part about the opening is that its name changed the world. I'm not even going to do a waifu war because I don't give a shit about any of the girls. Tanya is best and Nina is worse because she's a loli.
Speak now. Say your name.
I'm Pickle Rick!
Also, it's kinda weird how the anime ends. Episode 12 should be the last episode, but it's not. Episode 13 has Mr. Beast tame the spirit and doing other shit, but it just feels like an OVA episode or the first episode of season 2. Finally, and most importantly, there's the harem aspect of the show. And as a harem, it's terrible. There's no romance and there's no ichi. It's technically a harem since Mr. Beast has a bunch of girls with him that like him, but that's it. There's no romantic developments and there's no smoking hot ichi scenes either. What a load of shit. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say about Mr. Beast Tamer. It's really boring, none of the characters are interesting, it looks like shit, and it's just another typical bland and forgettable fantasy. Mr. Beast Tamer sucks, which is why I'm giving it a 2.69 out of 10. It's better than Smartphone, but not by a lot. And speaking of Smartphone, fuck me in the asshole, because season 2 is out, so you know what that means.